Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Factory Duel between Dutchy playing as 152 Easy. He's going up against MrBoxHead playing as Luftlande. So we'll go through the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for MrBoxHead, and he's playing first Lufty. The reason all my decks are gone is because last time I switched to the Strike Team version to show off the Marine decks, which is, it's on the channel. I showed off the new US Marine decks. When I switched back, it corrupted my profile, and I lost all my decks, and my level, and my keybinds, and, well, it is what it is. So that's why it's empty, because I know somebody's going to ask. So, Luftlande, tough div. Tough div. It's a good div. Like, it's actually a good div. It's just kind of hard to play, because the tools don't really synergize too well. So it's supposed to be the German Airborne Division, right? First Luftlande, but then it's also got like a whole mechanized reservist brigade strapped to it, and it's weird, man. Like if you so there's a player, he's called Sneaky, and he played this a lot, and basically last time I played against him, he was gonna win and then he crashed. But I just say I was going to win, but I wasn't. He was beating me. so it is a viable div. You can win with it. It's kind of weird that you've got this little bit of forward deployment, which is actually really strong because you get forward deployed AA, which we'll speak about. And then you got to swap into these like big squads, and then you just have a bunch of Vet 0 units. And Vet 0 units are quite hard to use. You always want sort of tanks and line infantry at Vet 1. So yeah, I mean, CVs, this is 3 per card, but it's very slow. And then 2 cards of supply is fair enough, because you don't have that many, whatever. So this, I always say self-propelled arty's better. I know this artillery rework is coming sometime, right, in the distant... Who knows what'll happen first? Maybe Hippie will get his PhD before the artillery rework. So I prefer self-propelled, but the towed one in this case is just way better. It fires faster and it's got more range, which means the dispersion at the same range is less, and it's cheaper. And so you kind of have to bring this. So I think that's fine. And yeah, the self-propelled mortar for smoke is better than a ground mortar for smoke. Who knows what the artillery rework will do. So yeah, you only need 2 cards of supply, really, in my opinion. And then yes, I like these. I buy 2 of them at the start, send them around the sides and stuff. Why does this always happen? Anyway, so Fallschirm Reservisten are the ones I bring as well, because you can bring regular Fallschirmjäger, but you lose 1 availability, and it's the rocket launcher is much better, right? But 15 points for the rocket launcher? I don't know about that. So... yeah, and then yeah, these only come at 1 vet, but you kind of need them. Like it's nice to so the meta is mech blob, right? Tanks and IFVs. These days it's more tanks and less IFVs because they nerfed IFV autocannons, so people just do it with tanks now. And your mech blob isn't that good because you can't vet them. If you could, it'd be sorry, it'd be a lot better. And then you've got Gebirgsjäger. So it's like, it's a big squad. Mountaineer means that you go at full speed through forests. Otherwise, you go at 2/3 speed. I think it's 18 instead of 24, right? Quick maths. That's 3/4 speed. You humongous input, because it's 6, right? 6 times 3. Yeah, exactly. I think it's about 18. I think it's 3/4 speed. Anyway, yeah, they're a nice squad. It's just they're kind of pricey. Like, but that's kind of the division. Basically, the way this game works, 5.56 assault rifles are better than 7.62 battle rifles. They just are, right? I think there's like very, very few cases where the 7.62 one is better. And 5 LSWs are better than medium machine guns because they fire faster. That's obviously nonsense, but that's how it works in the game. DMRs are just really good, and they're always 7.62 DMRs. They're called snipers, but there's another sniper that's like a full-powered one, but I can't think of any 5.56 DMRs in this game. So DMR's really good, but the rifles are bad and the MG's bad, and so it's always really awkward to play as these units that get this. But yeah, it's a nice squad if you set up somewhere and you're shooting. And then we got the leader. So that's a 2-pointer. That's a 3-pointer. We've already got the tank one. Between the leaders, 55 points, 5 dudes, AT thingy. This is, I guess, because you won it in the helicopter, but Hueys are crap, man. The Marine Hueys are nice, the US Marine Hueys, because they're like upgraded, but this is slow, and it's just not very good. But so yeah, you can do it if you want, and I appreciate that it's got a better AT, and it's got a red eye, and it's got smoke, so, and it's cheaper, so maybe it's just a good idea. It's just it's got one less guy, but yeah, I think this is probably better. And then you can pay through the nose for a forward deployed one, but you don't want that because you're going to open with 2 of these for 80 points rather than paying for 115 or whatever. And then you got to buy 2 because if the enemy buys 2 of these and just takes the side zones and comes in, he'll actually just get more points than you anyway. So this is better. So, yeah, I think it's probably the right decision. And yeah, you can bring it in a Huey if that's working for you, because you've already got many, in fact, like 5, 7, 9 is a lot of CVs, right? So you could theoretically sack off this, because it's not very good, really. But then you'd only have 6. So yeah, you could get rid of this and then have 2 AP. Yes, Milan 2 with a rank of vet. It's kind of awkward, because I would like Milan 1s as well, because it's an airborne div, and, you know, you get there first, and then card of Milan 2s, card of Milan 1s, card of MMGs is very, very good. And this is 5 points more for a rank of vet without compromising availability, whereas the same one in second Panzer gets like 6 availability or something. So it's probably worth it, and the forward deployment as well. But yeah, the Milan 1 doesn't come in because this is the nice Milan carrier, right? And this isn't a Milan carrier either, and neither's this. So it's kind of annoying, but I feel like you need 2 cards of ATGMs in this div. I feel like you need it. Need to drink my honey. Sorry if I sound kind of croaky. I don't know what to do about it. Just talk less, but I've got to make the vids. Weird square thing there. Do you see that? Might just be on my screen. No, you definitely see that. German technology. I don't know, that happens sometimes in the armory when you look at it from that direction. It's probably this. Yeah, almost certainly is. Because it's happening at the same rate. So it'll be something to do with the way this is rendering. Anyway, so this is another squad where it's like, it's a nice squad, but the way it synergizes is really weird. So it's the satchels, but you want to be at long range. So it doesn't synergize at all. Anyway, Luftgebirgsjäger, it's yeah, like nice squad. It's just the bombers always come and kill this. You don't have good AA, so it's kind of annoying. And then the Gebirgs Pioneer, and it's a trade-off between these and the Falchion Pioneer. So you lose 1 availability, but you lose the forward deployment, but you're 5 points cheaper, and you go faster towards the enemy through the forest, so you can throw your satchel at him because you've got the Pioneer stat. So I feel like the Gebirgs Pioneer is better. Because, like, do you really need a forward deployed satchel? Well, you've got one anyway in the recon tab, so... So yeah, it's a weird div. I do recommend getting a card of Milan 1s for when you take the ground. You can fill it with stuff, but then what do you get rid of? Because they've all got slightly like, is this even good? Do you need this if you've got this? Like 2 cards of satchels, 3 cards of satchels. That's where it's got to go, right? So which one do you get rid of? It's up to you. You can pay 30 points more for special forces, which makes you go faster again, by the way. So these guys actually go really quick. It's just the sniper rifle can't fire on the move. The battle rifle misses loads on the move, unlike the 5.56 assault rifle, because obviously, right? And the MMGs can't fire on the move. So you're running up to people to throw these satchels, and your guns aren't working while you're doing it. It's just so frustrating. I don't have a good answer for you. But I'd be tempted to get rid of these guys because you've already got satchels, and so you don't really need any more. And then you can put in a card of Milan ones in the car. And the idea is, once you take the ground, or obviously you would buy these. You could buy one of these and a few of these at the start, no problem. But once you take the ground, you just saturate it with ATGMs, and then they can't get back in. And you're just trying to buy time until the game ends. That's basically how Airborne is played. Spoke about that. Tanks, Jaguar 2, yes, very nice, very nice. TOW 2, 6 armor, so the enemy tank, you fire this, the enemy tank sees you, it shoots you, it hits you, you're fine, and then the TOW 2 hits him, and you both have to smoke and leave, but yours costs 85 and the enemy tank is probably more than that if it wasn't exploded. Yeah, this is the only one you can bring at one vet. And then this and these. So the question is, do you bring the Leopard 1A, 1A1 or the M48? The M48 is cheaper. Gets a little bit more armor. But it's slower. And it's only got 1 MG instead of 2. And the gun can't fire on the move. And it's slower. So bring whichever one you want. The Leopard 1A, 1A1 is probably... Is it worth 10 points, though, to be 10 kilometers an hour faster, have one more MG? It might not be. And to have the fire on the move, but you're going to stop anyway, because it's 35%, so you're going to stop. So, try the M48, and if it doesn't work, change it back, which would be my advice. And then, yeah, this is a Milan 2 with good stealth, and this is an Ito with good stealth, but they're not very fast through the forests, unlike something like a Rover Milan or an Iltis Milan. They do carry more rounds, though, which is important. And so, yeah, that's part of your holding strategy as well. But if you've got this, then maybe you can do without it. Recon. Yeah, you can bring these if you want. I prefer the Recon Helo, but... And then, yeah, the Lux is nice. Forward deployed Panzerfaust 3, because you didn't bring the Fallschirmjäger, so it makes sense. And then this is like a super... This is the best part of TKS, and then they had to put it in First Lufty. TKS losing its identity. Really nice. Like, the fact that it's 5 availability is pretty insane. And it synergizes, because you have to run up to people to shoot them with the satchels, and this is a light support weapon, which means it fires on the move, unlike the MMG, which doesn't. I know it says 5% there, that's just because the game's balked. The MG3 does not fire on the move. So yeah, you run up to people, you shoot them, you satchel them, you Panzerfaust them, it synergizes, do you understand? Hopefully you understand. And yeah, a recon tank, yeah, why not? Nice piece of kit. AA, yes, you want this at 2 vet, always, because this is the chance of hitting per bullet, and it shoots 6 bullets at once, and, the fire rate's quite high. This is just ammo consumption, it doesn't actually fire, because if you get the salvo length and the aim time and the reload time and do the numbers, it does not fire 1,000. It's just, that's how much ammo it consumes. So you want it at 2 vet, because that's your opener, right, going at 90 kilometers an hour down the road. And then, yeah, Gepards and Fliegerfaust. And you can 2-vet this if you want. Like, you only lose 2 availability in doing that. It depends what you want. I wouldn't vet this because, like, you just don't have AA, so you need all 6. But you could make the same argument with the Fliegerfaust, right? So it's up to you. It's up to you. Helis, yeah, so Hot 2 or Hot 1. Hot 2 would one-shot this, and a Hot 1 wouldn't. I think, because 20 one-shots 6 armor, and 22 one-shots 8, and this has 10, but that means that this wouldn't get one-shot either, so... But a Conker's M is 23, so this can survive a Conker's M, so if you're up against 27Y, Conker's M, this will survive and this won't. Or Swing Fires are 23 as well, so Brit divs. Anyway, it's better. AA, these come at 2 vet by default, so they're actually pretty cracked. They've got close to 40% ECM, and so that's how you kill bombers, but you can't... It's like a revenge fighter, because you can't fly, because the Cub's going to shoot you down. Like, you don't have the range to hit them before they kill you. And then, yeah, like, you can build it as an air spam div if you want. It's just... Like, the air spam is bad. These aren't good, because it's one per card and it costs loads and then it dies, but I feel like you don't really have a choice. And then this is like a poor man's A10, basically. You bring it out if there's no enemy AA. You can also do, like, you can open with this. Open with that and a recon helo. Obviously, you've got the drone, right? And then this just comes and just snipes the first transport in. And then, yeah, the seed, which doesn't really work properly. I mean, honestly, I would... It's like, you can do that if you want. And you can do it, right? I feel like the game wants you to do it. Or you can get the HE2, because it's got nice reload and bomb and everything. And then you've got 8 AP, which you can spend on making the mechanized div of your part of your div better. So you could bring 2 cards of this, for example, which you can't upvet, which is a shame. And you could bring more tanks. Like, it's up to you. It's just... The div's kind of weird, right? Like, so you could upvet this and bring 2 of those upvetted and they would shoot a lot faster. Or you could... you know, you could leave it like that and leave it like that and then come and get some more tanks. And maybe something like this, right? It's not a bad piece of kit. And then you've still got that pesky 2 AP. What did I get rid of to get the 2? It was the CV, wasn't it? So yeah, you could put the CV back in and have more CVs. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But yeah, I wish I was, like, really good at the div, but I'm not. So I can't really be, you know, this is how you should play it. His opponent's playing 1-5-2, which is just... Yeah, yeah. If you thought Luftlande was hard to play. So the idea is you get in with the Commandos de l'air, because they're airborne, mega, whatever, and then you just camp for the rest of the game with Milans and stuff. And so he's missed a trick here, because these are 10... This is the most cost-effective infantry in the game. 10 points for 4 men, 2.5 points per man. This is, like, 10 points per man, right? So you really do want that. What's he got that he doesn't need? Yeah, sack this off. Doesn't do anything. And yeah, do you see these Milans come in the Milan transports? Which means you... It's sort of the same thing as Luftlande, where you get there first, and then you just... with this, in this case. And then you just pile in 10 billion ATGMs and sit there. Do you see my point? Sappers Flam at 1 vet are actually not bad. Because what are you going to do if you're fighting in a forest? Available units. This is a nice CV because it's 3 per card. That is useful. And then, yeah, Marsoins, it's because they've got the DM, but they've got assault rifles, which is better. So they're like the Luftlande guys in that this doesn't shoot while moving, this doesn't shoot while moving. But the AT's nice, and because the range is good, and the FAMAS beats the G3 or whatever, and the transport's cool. So there's your Appelas, and then yeah, the Commando's delay you definitely need. I just arrange things in a certain way, so you don't have to do it. Yeah. The next patch, because this was read out on a dev blog, they're gonna get like, this guy's gonna be re-rolled as an instructor or something. And then because... Or it was this guy who's going to get re-rolled as an instructor. And then it'd probably be worth bringing at least 1 card of Reservist Zelrek. Because they're going to get buffed up by the instructor and they're going to be pretty cracked. So, you know, that's To be honest, I think you should bring one card of that anyway, but you can just go Marceau spam. It's just you've got no cheap infantry. Your cheapest infantry is 60 points. So you can sort of make do with this, but honestly, I try this, and just if it doesn't work out, you know, see me. Don't really, though. You need a mortar for smoke if you want to play this div. Yeah. I mean, you don't have good options, really, do you? These things are just junk, but they go fast. The whole point is you send them around to the side to kill people. So if you if you were playing like a better div, and then you had one card of these, it would be a great boon to your div to be able to just send stuff around the side and annoy people very effectively because of the speed, the stealth, and the fact that it's a gun, which means it just goes bam and then it gets them and they don't have time to react. Unlike an autocannon or a machine gun like a KPVT or something, which probably does more damage, but they have time to react. This will probably miss them. But because it's the only thing you have, it kind of sucks, right? Anyway, Milan 1 instead of Milan 2. I mean, that's personal preference. It's cheaper, so you can just send it everywhere, right? Okay. Yeah, this is where all his AP went. So, this thing has 4 armor, so you can upvet it by 1. Like, this is really nice. It's a lot better than this, so... You know, you probably want... Because you can get 2 cards of it, so... Why not? Although this has better optics, and then the Recon Healer's nice because it's got 6 HP, which means it can survive a manpad hit. That's a nice piece of kit, and you need the Appalass, and these guys are nice and cheap, but like, so this, what is the point of this? It's nice against infantry, I suppose. Nice infantry fire support. So this has the demo charge, and it's got smoke on it. And then, like, what's the point of this? Military police to put with your... With this, right? And that's about it, so I don't know. Probably get rid of that. Then you've got 4 AP, you can get your smoke mortars. Oh, that's not a high range. Well, you could bring this one if you want. AA. So the one you're looking for is 20% accuracy, so you don't really need that at 2-vet. The Tarrasque, like you want that at 20% if you want it to do stuff, but yeah, and then at that point, do you need the VAB T20? So you could get rid of this and then use the VAB T20 if you need whatever, but like it kind of sucks at its role, whereas this is much better at it. It's just about saving AP so you can spend it on something else, such as these, which you definitely should be bringing. And you can bring them at 2-vet. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it like that, I wouldn't bother with the VAB T20. Otherwise, I'd bring it with the VAB T20 and I'd get rid of this. So hopefully that makes sense. And then, yeah, ATG. Hilo. Sorry. Yeah, this one's Fire and Forget, so it's... Oh no, this one's the long-range Fire and Forget, so it's kind of better. And then, yeah, the super retards are nice. This is the one, because, like, how are you going to kill tanks in this game? So you need the cluster and the AT because your div sucks against tanks. So I wouldn't even bother with this because, like, so your anti-helo would be this one, and so you don't really need this either. And so I'd get rid of that. The Alpha Jet you can keep if you want, right? But the point is, you need to kill tanks. You need to kill tanks, so you should be bringing both of these. Because that's your main issue. That's the issue you have to solve, right? And so, like, yes, I understand you can buy all 3 of these at once, and it's very, very funny, but when you can play, like, a strong momentum game by buying them all at once. This is... Do you know what I always say? You survive every... If you've got 17 front armor, you survive every... Or is it 16? I should really... survive every AT plane in the game bar 2. Well, this is one of them. I think you should spec into what you're weak against. And what you're weak against is tanks. So yeah, you can get a lot done by like, haha, he bought no AA, and then you just buy all three of these and send them out at once, and you can get like 3 kills basically for quite cheap. Uh, but you know, it's a 2-pointer. These are 3, so if you got rid of this, although I can understand why you're bringing it, but then like, do you need this? I need the very good optics. I mean, maybe you do, but there's so much recon here. Can you just drive a bit closer? Nah, you do need the very good optics if you want a Mega Blob. At which point you could get rid of this, but this is actually just better because it... I mean, it's got more armor. Yes, sack that off. And then get this. Let's cast the game. Right, so with that out of the way, factory has changed. Basically, it was wide, which meant that these guys who spend all day just driving their tanks and IFVs around in a big blob, killing everything, and saying that we should nerf everything that kills those. Nerf the bombers, it killed my blob. Let me blob, let me blob. They complained that this map was too wide and people were going around their blob and killing them. So the map had to be made narrower to appease these truly intellectual individuals. So they also added an extra... So this is actually a good change. They actually added this here. Because it wasn't really fair that red had one and blue didn't. And then they got rid of these zones, which is... okay, whatever. And then they just moved these zones a bit. I think. Or they made them smaller or something. So this was a good change. In terms of the divisions, both of them have a pretty decent chance of winning on this map. 152E is actually really good on like infantry grind maps because it gets the Marceaux-ins with the Reservist trait, and the Commandos de l'Air are of course extremely good in this situation because they get the full powered sniper. It's not a DMR, it's a sniper, so it goes way further. This is what happened to the arm burst, if you remember. Remember the arm burst? So, yeah, get all 8 of those out. Yeah, 4 at the start and then spam stuff. What I will say is that the way he built his deck, he did not buy the Reservists LRAC guys, and he didn't bring the MMG teams. So he's really going to struggle to kill the enemy infantry, who did bring the MMG teams, because there's no, like, grenade launchers and stuff, and so you need, like, a load of MMG teams just to constantly apply damage to the enemy. Otherwise, you're really going to struggle to kill him. So, yeah. So, deployments, right? 4 VIBs going all the way down. So this is like a VAB T20, which is why you don't really have to bring the VAB T20. I forgot to mention that, actually. It's got smoke and stuff, right? So, yeah, very nice forward deployment. It's going to get all the spots, most likely. His enemy does have forward deployment. But they're... the ones that go at 100 kilometers an hour are small teams that... well, to be honest, actually, yeah, you could get the one you brought in the recon tab that goes at 100, the small... this. And this could unload and fire the Panzerfaust 3, but, you know, generally you'd expect, like, well, this will just unload early and shoot you, and it's a nice big squad, so yeah, that's all good. And then we got a big blob of crap, and some recon helo, some more of this. Yeah, usually I'd say open a bunch of Gazelle, the Air Cruel, whatever, 20mm. But you can't do that against this div because it gets forward deployed ASO. And then, yeah, a bunch of Milans and so on. Where's the CVs? Okay. Because you spend so much of your time fighting over this one zone that it actually really matters if you get the points at the start. His opponent has done the right thing and he's opened 2 cheapo CVs. Admittedly, these guys don't really get the 40-point cheapo CV, from what I remember. And so, yeah, one goes Alpha and one goes, you know, Charlie Bravo, and you can send this to Bravo as well if the other one dies, or you can just wait till you buy your artillery, put it next to your artillery, or you can put it next to your AA. You could even, like, so if you got, I'm pretty sure vetted units get their cohesion back faster. Oh, well, yeah, they do, that's sort of the whole point. And so you could, like, leave it next to your supply when you're resupplying your tanks. They get vetted, they get the cohesion back faster, and or whatever. Lots of things you could do with a CV. And then we just have a horde of MMG teams and Fallschirmjäger going down mid with some forward deployed AA. I mean, I think that's fine. You You gotta watch out for those Vab things, though. I mean, he'll see it coming. We'll just see how much of his opener he loses to not paying attention. But for whatever reason... Oh, I see. He's putting somebody in there. And then... Yeah, I mean, this should be a Lux, basically. It'd be way cheaper. And you could get a... Or you could literally buy a mod this. Because, this is a 85-point combination. This is why I never understood why people were complaining about the map being too wide when it used to be a bit wider. Because you would just get something like this, and almost every division gets something like this, right? This case would be like a VAB with an infantry in it. And, you put the infantry there, and you put the VAB there, and then they can't get past you without you noticing. And it's the same on this side, right? You just put... you'd have a unit in here anyway, and then you'd put the infantry there, and you'd put the vehicle there. It's not complicated, but mech blob must reign supreme. No, my blob! Ah, the bomber killed my blob! Help me, Reddit! Oh, man. Anyway, so yeah, let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. Generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest levels worth 2,000 views in ad revenue equivalents. So if you're feeling bad about your ad blocker, you could consider doing that. Lots of free ways to help the channel. You could like the videos, comment, subscribe, all that. It makes YouTube recommend it to more people. Or you could wishlist my game on Steam. It'll be linked in the description. Is he going to unload? No. So, but neither did his opponent, so lots of feeding going on. But yes, this is 80 points. The Falchion Reservist is 50. This was moving, so that guy got to get past him. And yeah, there's lots of feeding going on. Lots of feeding going on. Everybody's feeding. Blue still hasn't bought any CVs. And yeah, as you can see, the Commandos delay are pretty good. Imagine if that one hadn't died, right? He just wasn't paying enough attention. You do have to click quite fast, right? The way you solve this is by buying a recon helo, because it just gives you way more time to figure out what's going on. But he bought one and he still died, so we spoke about this in the deck review. Like, it can be powerful to buy 3 Alpha Jets and then get 3 kills, or in this case 4 kills. And if your opponent didn't buy any AA or any like good AA, you can get a lot of damage and do a lot of work with it. But red's on a +3, so it's a bit of an issue. But yeah, I think both teams have a really good chance of winning here. Like, they're kind of designed for this map. I mean, there are divs that are better at doing it. So if you've got grenade launchers, that's more useful. If you've got the flash or the not the hand fan platoon, the Saperi RPO, it's basically like it's like napalm launchers or thermobaric launchers. They're pretty good. Yeah, like satchels can work, right? So I was quite surprised that MrBoxHead didn't open with any of the really nice satchel squads that we spoke about. The FS Jaeger recon guys with the MP5s and the satchels and the Panzerfaust 3s, because, they could have done a lot of work here, right? Too many Falchion Reservist, basically. But you would need smoke as well, which you do get, to close the distance with the satchels. The thing with DMRs is that they suppress loads. Basically have twice the suppression of a machine gun, right? And so... and so we cough. And so if you're trying to run up to somebody to satchel them, they're just going to suppress you really, really quickly, and then you're just going to rout or whatever. Or just do no damage once you get there. And so that's where the smoke comes in. But yeah, I think, like, red, it looked like it was going well for him. Like, he was killing loads of stuff. But then those bombers came in, and they actually did quite a bit. He's still on a +3, though. And so, yeah, something like this, like a Leopard 1 on the road, well, yeah, he can't really do anything about that. He's just got to bring up the Milans. And, like, Leopard 1's kind of designed to kill these crap waves. If you want to kill, units. You basically want something that's just slightly better. There are certain kind of, like a Milan 2 is really good against a Leopard 1, because it's just like, it's at the cutoff where it would one-shot it, that sort of thing, right? Whereas a TOW 2 is really good against a T-55A, and things like that. But for the most part, if you're playing against light trash spam, you want medium trash spam, because you can still negate his advantages with, oh, I'll attack you over here, I'll attack you over here. But you can, what's going on here? Wow, Alpha Jet Warfare, bro. That's crazy. But why has this been purchased? What was it for? Well, there it goes. So yeah, first Lufty is probably pretty good against this div, because like a Leopard's 1, it's not going to beat an M1A1 Abrams, but it fires fast, and things with low armor will die straight away. I should do a... There's always something to be done, right, in terms of guides for this game and so on. But yeah, it would be worth me doing like a proper explanation on how to counter units, but we can just have the conversation now. So this... it's probably going to die. Yeah, these are really nice. You obviously... Well, there's not actually anything back here. So it's starting to look good for Red again, right? He brought the Leopard 1s, and his opponent basically can't kill him. He has to use the Milans. That's essentially the only way, or just wait for them to, you know, so you can side-shot them or whatever, right? Hide behind the buildings. That sort of thing. So, like, yeah, you can just hide behind the building. You do have to turn off this cover thing, otherwise he just jumps back in and gets shot again. But there he should have stopped, shot him, and kept going. But with the auto cover, if he'd stopped there, it would have said, I'm going back in. So you need to bind the key to disable auto cover. Or you play with it off by default, which is what MrBoxHead's done here. It's what I do as well, but it comes with its own problems, which is that you just constantly get units not in houses because you right-click near it and it doesn't go in. And then they don't have the cover bonus and then they die. So there's advantages either way. If you've got really good micro, you should play with it off, really. But you gotta be honest with yourself, right? There's a lot of people who they'll do like, oh well, I'm really good, so I'll get the towed artillery. I mean, this is a bad example because here you should bring the towed artillery instead of the self-propelled one. But I'll bring the towed artillery and I'll save 70 points. And then they spend all game microing it, and then they lose at least 70 points. I lose thousands of points of units in a game, right? You're gonna lose at least 70 because you were clicking here and something happened here and you lost a unit. So it does matter. Gotta be honest with yourself. But yeah, it's looking pretty good for Red. He managed to sort all this out. He should bring up the CVs at some point. I mean, he's got 2. So, yeah. He's checked this now, and then he can send it in. Another thing you can do is just drive the Lux up to here, smoke, or just wait to get shot, and if you don't, then don't smoke. And then send the CV the same way, because you know that's empty now. But yeah, these big squads, they're alright, you know? It's just, they don't... Like, this one's not so bad, but the one that has satchels doesn't really synergize with the tools that it has. But yeah, no AA from Blue, not even a Minstrel. And so the drone's getting free reign. And yes, this is... when you buy the RT, you can fire it from spawn. I mean, he's almost done that. He's not wasted much time. It's just it reloads while moving, so you want to unload it, get a volley off, load it up and move it up. It's obviously dumb that it does that. So we got CV number 3 here. I mean, what? The other thing to buy is a smoke mortar. Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like he misclicked there. Sorry I keep doing that. I'm working on it. This is water with honey in it. So, the fighter, about to run out of fuel, but it should get this. And yeah, the Gepards, like 2 Gepards, if they had like full line of sight, because it was getting blocked by the building, right? That would have killed it anyway, but, you know, it was about to run out of fuel, you might as well use it, confirm the kill, whatever. So we got another CV coming in. And then, you know, like, put this next to your arty. So, okay, so you're unloading and moving this. So you click this Shift F on the truck, not the arty piece. Because if you do it on the arty piece and then you load up the arty piece, I'm pretty sure it just, you know, loses it. I've not actually tried that, but I just always do it on the truck. So you don't want to go that way, because that's the way they can see you and so on. You want to go this way. Get in here and go. Well, I suppose, like, it's not going to help much, is it? But yeah, I'm surprised by the lack of, like, why buy another CV? Like, you might need it at some point, but you've got one. I understand that it's easier to get in there. Oh, what? Just pop the smoke. Jump in here and cross over. Like, you can use the buildings to get around, right? You don't have to just sit around and get shot. Now he's going to wait for it to repair, and these are going to... Oh, no. It's one of those games. So, look, blue is sending stuff around the side, and red hasn't tried to stop that. So he deserves it, basically. But there should be stuff here. That's where you put it. You put something at the start, right? Something here, something here, something here. And it can just literally just be... Panzer Grenadier, and then put the Marder there. And it's a really easy way to cover flanks, so you don't just have stuff go through. But now let's just make the map narrower. My blob lost to a bomber. It didn't actually lose. I still won the game, but I didn't win fast enough. So what I need you to do is to nerf the AoE bombers and just nerf anything that can kill my blob. Because I paid good money for this game, and it's my right to make it shit for everybody else. So, need a bit of supply here. It is on its way. No, it isn't. So yeah, this is a nice arty target. Oh, it missed. I was hoping to show you that Milan 2's one-shot Leopard 1s, but you're just going to have to believe me. And, yeah, we spoke about this in the deck review, like, playing first Luftlande as an air spam deck, I think is a waste of time. Because, like, I honestly think LGBT should go back to 2 per card. Apart from the ones that, like, one-shot heavy tanks. And they get 3 rounds. But even that, it could be 2 per card and just make it a bit more expensive. It's just... They're just not worth it at 1 per card. But, you know, if you bring something like that up, then people are like, well, I got changed, and now you want to change it back. And yeah. You just got to make your own game, bro. Start your own bank. Anyway, so Satchel's, as you can see, pretty useful. But he's not brought his best tool, which is in his deck. And it is the Fallschirm Jaeger Recon. With the MP5s and the Satchels and the HKs and the Panzerfaust 3s, they would shred here. You'd want... By now, all 5 of them should be on the field or, you know, dead or whatever. Well, that's great. As you can see on Milan 2, one-shot's 11-1. And do you see these crappy, cheapo, mega-cheap tanks? You know, if you just sort of one-shotting them... Because like an M1A1 would also kill this in, you know, 1 or 2 shots depending on range, right? Like at this range they would both one-shot that. And so you don't... And this is 1/3 the price of an M1A1. So you can see how naturally you arrive at a situation where when you want to beat somebody... You don't want to reach for the top shelf and get the most expensive unit. You want a unit that's literally just good enough to beat them, because as soon as you pay more than you have to, well, that's just inefficiency built into the system. It's actually a very well-designed system, or at least it just sort of ended up like that. I don't know if it was intentional. Here we go, smoke mortar, so you can get your CV in. Yeah, I don't know where it's shooting, but... Oh, he's trying to smoke the ATGM so he can move up his stuff. Everybody's missing. So yeah, if you're 152 easy, you basically want to get you basically want to get mad and then buy all 6 of your planes at once. Be like, haha, look at me, 6 planes. You want to be sending stuff around the side, and you want to be doing these little blobs of something like that, right? Because it's all wheeled. It's all wheeled trash. But the point is, if you run into an enemy front line, well, it's all just going to die. One hit, one hit, one hit, one hit. And so the idea is to send it, like, all of this should be coming around here and showing up here, unloading the infantry and taking that +2. I understand that, and then, like, you just send a few round here, and then you send a few round here, but it's obviously very difficult to do that. But I've lost games to 152 easy. Have I? Yeah, I think I have. And that's how you do it. You would send a bunch down here, send a bunch down here, send a bunch down. Like, use the mobility and the cheap nature of your units to just constantly probe the enemy. It's very hard to do that. It takes a lot of effort. There it is, the Fallschirmjäger B1. Takes a lot of effort, and it's a lot easier to just mech blob, and then whenever you run into anything that doesn't mech blob, you say, why did people vote for this map? I want a mech blob. You're ruining the game. So yeah, these guys are good at close range, because otherwise only the MG's shooting. So they would have actually lost that fight, but the point is you jump over here, then you jump over here, and then you blat him from this distance, and then you jump in, kill these two, jump back. So really, really, really nice unit. That's what you want to be using. Get in the buildings. So yeah, still +1. These fire on the move, right? Whereas the other satchel squads, this doesn't fire on the move, and this misses on the move because it's got 10% accuracy. So, and if it wasn't vetted, it'd be 5. Apparently, there's some bug in their game where that is actually 10. It just says 9. Same with like SPGs had their accuracies go up to 40%, but it says 39. So yeah, he's sending stuff like, and like something like, yes, exactly. So he's solved the problem. So that's eventually that's why 152 easy loses, because you run out of places you can do that, because everywhere ends up, because as the game goes on, more and more units get purchased, right? And unless units are dying faster than they can be purchased, well then the map just slowly fills up. And that's the inherent issue with like a high TTK system. Everything in this game used to die a lot faster. But yeah, there are strengths and weaknesses to every kind of situation, right? The solution is to make the maps wider so that doesn't really happen as fast, right? Because you don't really want a game, oh, the fighter ran off and he just left the Alpha Jet to die. Well, what can you do? I don't blame the fighter for running off, but maybe you bet the Alpha Jet as well next time. Needs another gap. I suppose this one here didn't really shoot because of the... You have to have it slightly further away from the buildings. But then that opens you to getting shot. Typically what people do is put it in forests because it still gives you the cover. And it doesn't obscure the vision of the AA gun. Now, of course, if you've been outside, you'd know that's a bit silly. But I haven't, so I think it's fine. So do you see this isn't shooting while he runs towards him? And then, yeah, it becomes this situation where basically there'll be certain buildings, and behind this building on one side is all of one team's fire support, and behind it on the other side is all of the other team's fire support, and so whoever jumps in just gets hosed. And the way you break that up is by smoking, because if you smoked there, for example, well then this guy could just come and kill this, or at least he could fight that while these guys aren't shooting him. And so smoke, really the sky's the limit. But sometimes it can hurt you. If you use it wrong, it can hurt you. This is the one I was on about. Can't fire while moving, can't fire while moving, misses while moving, although, you know, the vet's higher, so the accuracy's gone up. And then you need to get into a position to use this. So it's It's a weird div, Luftlande. It's not a bad div, because you can mech blob with it. I can't remember if they said in the dev blog they were adding instructors to it. It would be cool if they got some, because then suddenly all of your tanks would be at one vet, and then you could mech blob even more. But no, I think it's good to have asymmetrical divisions. It's so much better than just mech slot, mech slot, mech slot. No, my tank! Ah, it should kill you faster! I only won 2 tournaments this year, I need more buffs! So there you go, you see, once you get so many Gepards, they really do start doing a lot. But yeah, that was weird micro from Red. But no, he just didn't micro. Because why wasn't that killing that beforehand? The only reason his bomber got out was kind of luck, basically. Now we're sending super retard rockets over enemy AA nets to shoot 2 vet fighters. Is that really the state of the game we're in now? So yeah, the RT's not really shooting, but at this point you'd want 2. And the idea is, because you get in here, you're getting shot, and then you go behind, and then you just RT, whatever was most important that you saw. And then you just slowly chip away, chip away, chip away, chip away. And eventually, if you're doing that better than the enemy's doing it, eventually you'll win, right? It's just an attritional fight. Here's a nice spot. Right, because if you put it here... Well, okay, I suppose he can still see everywhere he needs to. See, I get the impression Blue's out of ideas and he just doesn't want to surrender, because he's not really doing anything. He's just kind of... Ah, he's doing something. Something's happening. Really nice RPG, this one. But yeah, spread them out, right? Get one over here. Get one over here, get one over here. You're basically just limited by your APM. So like this is full HP, it should be going forwards. This should be going this way, this should be going this way. And then you just, shoot, shoot, shoot. When you get low, go back. And the best players basically just do that faster. And a good crutch is to just blob everything. And then when the bomber kills it, you complain. So, okay, if it evacs this way, it might work out. Depends on that Flieger. Nah, because you see that dealt more than 1 damage, so it went down to 4. So if this had hit, or this had hit, it would have killed it. But getting 1 Flieger hit out of 3 is normal, completely normal. I mean, look at the accuracy, it's 40%, and these have 30% ECM. There is an accuracy flaw. I think it's either 20 or 15. Like there's like a minimum accuracy that you can't go below, and that's obviously not written down anywhere, but there it is. So yeah, he's moving up. He's doing something. Just needs to use a bit of smoke. Actually, use the artillery bot, and get in. And you see the Appalachians are good at killing the Leopard ones. I mean, obviously it doesn't one-shot it, but it fires pretty fast. So there you go. Blue's back in. And, yeah, just lots of guys sat around, right? And the more you play, the less that happens, the more you use your tools. I mean, it's sort of like economics, right? Opportunity cost. It's not enough to be rich. Everybody else must be poor. That's not the concept of opportunity cost. That's just the concept of an economist. Yeah, I mean, it was a bad launch. Like, he just sort of... Woo! That's not how you do it, right? You come in and then you go back. You come in and then you go back. You don't just fly over the entire enemy's AA net. And anyway, this has been shooting you and it's not moving, so now you should shoot it with your artillery. And the best way to do it is just hit F1 click, F1 click, F1 click, whenever you see them shoot, because it'll leave a ping, and then you don't have to remember the exact position, right? And it's all just practice. One of the main issues with every RTS game, is that, well, when you click that ranked button, you're probably going to end up against somebody who's been playing the game since it came out, and they might have even played previous games from the same developers, which are very similar. So when I started in Warno, that was the problem I had, because I started on day one, and I was better than most people day one, but there were still people. I was like, how is this guy so good? And it turned out that they had just played, 3,000 hours of Steel Division 2, which is the one that just came out. Sorry, it came out just before Warno. Last one to come out before Warno. And other people had played like Red Dragon. I've played other RTSs, but there are transferable skills in video games. It's just whether or not you think it's a good use of your time to invest in these projects, and that's a personal decision, right? I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. So, when you blob them this much, do you see how these have been suppressed a little bit because this one got hit? And that's a big issue, right? The closer they are, they would have been a lot more suppressed. If you get close enough, they can both explode. So yeah, that's a little bit of a counter-blob mechanic. It depends what you define as a blob, right? Is something this spread out a blob? But yeah, basically, if you're bad at micro, you shouldn't be playing 152E, because it's an extremely high micro, high skill ceiling division. You should just be playing mech slot. Anyway, we got a classic didn't move my arty for 20 minutes problem here. But he only shot him with one instead of both. And so he just didn't get him. I think if he'd fired with both at once, he could have got him. So, yeah, I mean, blue is halfway up the zone, but he just never got the CV in. I think it got to here and it died, right? So he's buying some more. It's just, if the whole game is fought over a +1, and the enemy's been on a +1 for more than 20 minutes, you can sort of figure it out, right? Well, more than half of the game is gone. So if I'm on a +1 now, I'm gonna lose. So it was a nice idea, right? The seed protects the LGB. It was just, I don't know, I think it's because it's behind the building, the seed didn't shoot it. It's like curved off. Unload your units. Alright, at least no, he's still doing it. Yeah, well, what can I say? It's good. Pain is a good teacher. Pain is a good teacher. He has learned from his mistakes. So yeah, the leopard ones, you need small leopard ones. Something else I've noticed is that there's been, like, no helicopters from either player. Those ATGM helos that both sides get and both sides have brought, if you just have one, like, back here on top of this, then yeah, okay, a minstrel can kill it, but it will sit there and it will rattle stuff off, right? It's part of the paradigm. It's not some... There's no quick fixes, right? You're not just going to win if you buy it, but it's part of the structure of the attack. You can use them defensively a lot more, because obviously the enemy has to run his AA up to you, at which point you shoot it with ground stuff. So it's worth doing. 152E gets a lot of like auto cannon helos, but he's not brought them, and they're 6 HP, so they can survive a man-pad hit, which is very important, because it means that you send it forwards, you get hit, and then you send it back and it doesn't die, right? That's very, very important. Shouldn't really need explaining. But yeah, Red's kind of ran out of guys. I wonder where they all went. I mean, he's obviously losing units which cost 85 points in the transports over and over again is going to cost you heavily. But I do wonder, like, why is there so many Fliegerfaust here? That should just be one Gepard. And I suppose the cost would be the same. So this is nice, good side shots, right? Oh, I know where all his points have been going. He keeps buying these planes. So the Mega Bomber comes out and it kills one 20-point piece of shit, and then and you got to do that like 10 times to pay for yourself. But yeah, back to the point about Leopard 1's just been very, very good against this sort of thing. Look, they're just killing everything. So, yeah, Blue, he's woken up. He's doing something. The units are coming in. They're fighting. Red, he's panicking. What? What was that? Oh, it was like a HE round. That's why it was like less than 1 damage from Epstein there. Oh, you can't see that. My face is in the way. It says Edelstein. It's not as funny, but that's something else. Do you see it? Well, it's not funny then, but in the moment, might have been. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, Red's in a bit of a pickle, but he's been on a +1 for 10 million years, and his opponent has only just began his +1 journey. And so, I like the idea behind the smoke to isolate the units at the front so you can kill them. Another seed just sent to die over the same Crotal. That could have been 3 more ground tanks, which I bet you wish you had right now. So, you know, don't throw by buying loads of planes. Everybody makes the mistake at some point, but if you're winning, you know, you can buy one if you want, but I play very limited air compositions. Generally, I mean, it depends what div I'm playing and so on, but so yeah, you see the mechanized forces are like out here. Basically what blue needs to do is bring up some Milan 1s and put them in these buildings and use them like Dragon 2s to start hammering these, and even a Milan 2, because that's the only way he can really do it. These things, like, they literally exist to get one shot by Leopard 1s, so he just keeps buying them and losing them, buying them and losing them, buying them and losing them. But it is scary to bring an ATGM up close because it's probably going to die as well, and you're like using it like a line infantry. But that's what that's what Milan 1s are for. They're cheaper, so you can, you know, use them a bit more aggressively and so on. There you go. Alright, got a AA, you know, whatever helo here, right? You don't want to send them to... Well, I mean, these are just going to shoot you, so... this, of course, would kill you, so it's a pain. But yeah, generally, if you're playing on this map, red has a much better time here, and blue has a much better time here. So just keep that in mind when you're playing it, because it's just because of where the reinforcements come in, right? Your reinforcements are going to arrive here, and the enemies are going to arrive here, so it just tends to be that's where the most guys are. Because, you know, you send them straight into the fight in most cases. So yeah, blue, the reason he's doing this is because he's come to the same conclusion I have, that if he doesn't, he's going to lose. So it's wasteful, but, I mean, he's getting a lot of kills. 8 times by 40 is 320 points on a +1. It's not enough. So he needs to get to this zone, so that's why he's pushing so aggressively. And he's going for broke, right? And you know, look at these. Like, what is that? Klein Promets. They've had a lot of kills, but you know, he's messing up. And it's like, oh, now I'll buy 10 Milan 1s. Now I'll buy 10 of this, and that's bad. You need to keep buying the combined arms, but it just comes down to practice. If you play it 500 hours of one division, you probably nail it, but. You know, also he could have just like smoke, and then just fast move them all down to get them in. But yeah, this is intelligent from red. Send stuff around the sides, right? Frustrate his attack, and then, you know, like these. Honestly, you bought them, and then they just sat there for the whole game. You do want to keep a CV in here in case he sneaks one in, and you do want to keep a CV in here. But yeah, sooner or later he's going to have to buy one for over here. And, you know, you don't sell this, you use it to, right? You use it to scout. And you send this forwards, and you send this forwards. Gotta take some risks, Get in the buildings. But yeah, it's hard in the moment, right? There's lots of crap going on. Hard to, like, I've lost games where it just came down to split-second decisions at the last second, and I just made the wrong decisions. You know, I was too fatigued from the game, or whatever. I didn't get enough sleep. I missed breakfast, and I don't know how that would make me feel. And, you know, you make these splits. It's happened to me on this map. I was the blue player in this situation, and I could have won. So yeah, it's worth thinking about. I can't believe he's still got some of these. They should have all been bought up like as fast as possible. Well, you know, obviously don't mess with your combined arms, but these are very, very good. Very, very good. You can see stuff. So he's trying to shoot that because he knows that's where the CV's coming in. He's using this one to scout. But why not send this forwards and protect this? I suppose you don't have to now, but... +3 to red. And, yeah, this is the kind of situation where something like this would be useful, because... you know, the enemy's overextended, his AA is all the way back here, and so you can come in. But you've only got 2 Mavericks, so... it's a poor man's A10, basically. But yeah, with all the side shots and stuff, the blob has a bad time here, so you need to make the map narrower so the blob has more opportunities to win. Just got to make your own game at this point. So yeah, it's looking pretty Jova to me. And he's still got all his Crusaders and so on. But yeah, this was a really good play, because it forces your enemy to react to it, and then he can't just keep pile driving the same space. That's the best attack against any blob, basically. Obviously, an AoE jet will kill it all, depending on how blob they are. But for the most part, it's just push the sides, because they have to, you know, then the blob must disperse, or it will be destroyed. You know, you'll just lose the rest of the map, you lose the game. That's why I like taking these zones out, because, like, I mean, it just makes it more about the middle. Like, he got in here, which is cool. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, he's determined to keep it going, but he obviously can't win at this point. And good job from MrBoxHead. Yeah, you saw you see, you know, he's desperately just trying to get it in, and he wouldn't have made it anyway, because it's coming down this road. So yeah, you got MrBoxHead here, rank 187, and Dutchy, rank 108. So high-level players, but they're not exactly on meta divs. I'd say neither of these divs is a meta div. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you around. GG.